you do seem like you're super family oriented, and coming home is important to you. Is fishing at home like where you get recharged?
Yeah, I think just being home in general. It's like, because I did miss out on a big part of my life. Like, as far as like end of high school, you know, I never went to prom. I never did any of that stuff as much as I wanted to, but I just wasn't there. And, you know, just being around the family, and my dad and my brother have such a good relationship. They're together all the time. And so when I come into town, it is fun to be with them, and, you know, we'll go fishing and like get to do the stuff they get to do every day. It's just, I'm just a little bit too, I don't know, I always have to kind of be moving.
Yeah.
But I do love being home for a little bit. And it's fun. Just honestly, some of my favorite days at home is waking up, going and watching my dad at his glassing his boards or shaping his boards, and watching him get frustrated because the resin isn't kicking. Like, I don't know. It's just like, It's fun to see him work. And like, it's just like the older I get, the more I realize like, wow, like you worked your ass off and you are here now. And it's incredible. Like, a guy from Arkansas, like he moved to South Carolina when he was like 12 or 13.
Okay.
But, you know, just started from nothing. And now he's one of the most famous East Coast shapers. And our surf shop is well known across the world. And it's just cool to see. It's such an inspiration. And it like sometimes make me feel bad because I'm like, I should be in there shaping or whatnot. But like, I don't know. It's fun just to watch him and, you know, just see the way that people look up to him, and to like watch him make a little kid's day when they walk into the surf shop and pick up their new custom board. And just like all that stuff is like, you know, this place is pretty cool. And like, I'm super lucky to have such a good family. And it's been insane.
I mean, that was my next point for sure, is Village and Kelly Richards' names are like synonymous with South Carolina.
Yeah, no, he's done such a good job at like, the one thing I give my dad the most credit is that, not obviously I didn't realize when I was younger, but now that I'm getting older, this amount of stuff he did for people and asking for absolutely nothing in return is such a trait that like you don't see much anymore, unfortunately. It's a lot of like, what can I do to help you that you'll help me?
Yeah.
He didn't care. I mean, he would pile a van with 8 kids that he barely even knew, take them to Wrightsville to do some surf contest, pay for all their food, whatnot. You know, it didn't matter. My dad was like, yeah, if you want to do this, like, come on. Like, as long as you're respectful, as long as like you, like, I don't know, just be a good kid and I'll take you wherever you want to go. I mean, my dad made so many kids' lives and childhoods by just like taking them up and down the East Coast to surf. And so that was like one of the coolest things learning now is like, I mean, how much work he put into us as like growing up, like to have a surf career, such a hard thing to do. I mean, we would go to school and we'd get off school around 2, 3 o'clock and he'd have the truck packed and we'd have to drive to Florida to do an NSSA. Yeah. We're done on Sunday. We got to be at school on Monday. He drove through the night, you know, like it didn't matter.
And he had a business.
Yeah. And he also had a business. And here I am just sitting in the back eating chips, like, oh, like, get me home, Dad, you know, just being a punk. And then now I'm like, how did you do this? Like, but it's because he just loved it. And he didn't want anything in return. And he just happy to do it. And even my dad now, like, you can still see it. Like, he just loves showing people things.
Cool.
I mean, if I have a friend come into town, had a friend, Eric Knutson, come into town. He does a lot of John John's filming. He's just like, hey, can I come check out South Carolina? I've never seen it. I'm like, sure, if you want. I mean, my dad just had a blast. And he was just like, oh, look at this, look at that. And you could just tell, like, man, he just loves to, you know, do things for other people. He doesn't really care what he's doing for himself. And he doesn't care what someone's doing for him. He just, I've tried to be like him, and it's hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard. Like, it's just, even still, he still does so much for me, like, just random miscellaneous things. And then I, like, realize, I'm like, man, this guy just doesn't stop, and he's always happy. But it's gotten to where he is now, and a lot of people do respect it and do know it. But, like, I don't think people know, like, truly how deep it does go, and, like, how it's literally just for the love of it, which is, like I said, a hard trait.
Yeah, is it more that he is like, is it because he loves surfing so much, or he more so is just like that type of person?
I don't know. He does love surfing. I mean, he loves it more than anything. He has watched my videos more than probably more than the views on the video. He's probably watched it more.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, he does love surfing. But also I think it's just his character. I think because he does it for people not even in the surf world. I mean, like I said, if you know my dad, if you've ever met him, he's probably told you to go grab a T-shirt at Village Surf Shop. Like, on me, I'll give you this, I'll give you that. So it's like, I think it's just him. And then this love for surfing is just on top of it.
So where's that whole package, y'all's crew and kids all riding Perfection surfboards?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. One of my dad's claim to fame, he believes, and I agree, Perfection Surfboards probably has the most East Coast titles, like, of any other surfboard. Because when we were younger, my brother, myself, Tony Savani, Stevie Pittman, Luke Gordon, Micah Canner, all these kids riding our boards, and we would leave ECSC with 5 trophies. You know, Tony would win the longboard. My brother one year won the longboard, open men's and boys. Then, like, you know, like, so I think he's probably spot on. Yeah. Like, it was pretty crazy at a time. I mean, every young kid rode a Perfection that was like competing, but it was also, they rode them for the board, but then I think they also rode them for the family. Like, you know, it was just like, it was fun. You wanted to hang out with KR. Yeah. And, I mean, that's the guy you wanted to be with. That's who everyone loves. So he definitely paved the way for a lot of young kids, and I don't think he would change it for anything.
I mean, it had to have a huge impact because the crop of talent is like one thing us from Charleston always looked at is everyone from Myrtle. I mean, there's a lot of talent.
Definitely against all odds, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was the fact of people pushing each other. And like I said, we had such a good community. We had like our ESA, like the people who ran it, Denny and Terry Green. Like, every event was so much fun. And like everyone was together. You know, like I said, my dad probably did shape almost everyone's boards on the beach. And like, there was no drama. And it was just a bunch of people going out, having a good time on the beach. And then that would transfer over to the normal weekends. And yeah, I think that was like one of the main things that we had that I think helped out a lot of kids, was just like, they wanted to be a part of it. Like, you know, they'd come down for a contest on the weekend and everyone would have such a good time. And this guy would be surfing and then the kids would go home like, I want to do that every weekend. Like, that was fun. And so I think that just kind of trickled down. And
do you think your talent and that whole cruise, like, because Charleston, Myrtle, similar, I mean, same coastline, but were you just that much closer to Wrightsville or something that you could
maybe, but I don't know. Honestly, there is a theory that maybe it's because our waves are so bad. Yeah. I mean, you guys get waves, like, pretty proper, like, pretty fun. We don't get, like, I mean, yes, it can get fun, but like, you guys will have days that's like, oh, this is a surf trip, like, this is fun. We don't get that. Okay. So maybe just the fact of like how much harder we have to work to go, like, to get speed on a wave, to get, like, if you can learn how to do 3 turns on a 1-foot wave, you doing 3 turns on a chest high wave is the easiest thing in the, not easy, but it just translates. It makes it so much easier. Kind of the same theory as Kelly. I mean, you look at him and he did the same thing. So that might be my only guess, would be that, like, we have such bad waves, and at least you guys had like decent waves, and
or just enough to hurt us.
Just enough to, like, you didn't have to work as hard, like, to where when we get up on a wave, we have to work, and that's going to be my only guess. Yeah. But I mean, you guys also had insane surfers from here too. Yeah. I mean, Kyle Busey's, Rips, like, there's a bunch of good surfers, and so I don't know. I think it was more of I'll definitely give my dad a lot of credit. Yeah. I think he's the one who kind of brought it together and also showed all the kids, you know, showed the world, or showed the East Coast, these kids, like, you know, they'd be with us. So like, everyone would meet them. That person would meet that person. My dad would be able to get them a little rep deal from the surf shop. You know, Luke, here you go. You got on Rip Curl. Micah, I get you on Billabong, like, flow deal. And then all that stuff just kind of translates, and you surround yourself around a bunch of good surfers and you put yourself in good opportunities. Like, that's kind of the best way to get better. Yeah. So I think that had a lot to do with it. Like, also like the shop, my dad getting them the rep deals, and that, you know, next thing you know, you're at a little autograph signing back when those were cool, and Taj Burrow would be in town, you know, like all those like weird little things. Like, I don't know. I feel like that stuff kind of can translate and push people. So yeah, I'm going to give my dad a lot of credit.
Yeah, absolutely.